Hey, good morning, everyone. Happy Monday morning. Bright and early. Thank you so much for joining me on a Monday morning. I wanted to talk to you today about, those things that hold us back, right? So kind of just wanted to hang out. I figured I'd give everybody a couple minutes to join us. I encourage you to comment. Whoops, there we go. Comment while we're chatting here today. Let me know you're here. Say hello. Let me know where you're from. So let me introduce myself to begin. I'm Lainey Yeisley. I'm the founder of the Triangle Homeschool Resource Center and creator of the Homeschool Launch Pad. I've been homeschooling for we're in our 12th year now, really, if you start counting it kindergarten, but really my son's second preschool year, he was 5 and he was going to preschool 2 days a week, but we were really kind of homeschooling alongside that, even though I didn't know that's what I would call it then. I was just trying to, keep my kids happy, trying to keep them interested, just trying to be a good mom. So yeah, this is, it's been about 12 years in the journey, and in that time, it's been in 2 states. North Carolina is our home now, but I was born and raised in Pennsylvania, and my older 2 kids were born there. And we landed here, and, I've seen a lot of change, a lot of growth in homeschooling, certainly, especially here in North Carolina, but nothing like the last few months, right? It's crazy. Record numbers of new homeschool registrations, which is a wonderful thing. I personally think it's a great thing. It's going to be a great thing for our community. It's going to be a great thing for education in general. I just think I have to applaud parents that are taking a tough situation right now and, taking matters into their own hands and doing what they need to do for their family in the moment. And boy, I have the utmost sympathy and admiration for teachers dealing with all of the crazy changing requirements all the time, right? So anyway, I've seen all this growth in change in the homeschool community. And like I said, nothing like in the last few months. And for the last 3 years, I've been doing homeschool consulting. I've had the Triangle Homeschool Resources website where we try to share information, and here on the Facebook page and Instagram, all that stuff. And I'm hearing from parents that say, I thought about homeschooling before, and now it seems like a good time. Or, I never saw myself homeschooling, but here we are, because maybe the virtual just wasn't working out, or, I felt I had no choice. So, if that was you, if you're homeschooling now, and either you thought about it before and now's a good time, definitely tell me in the comments, share that with me. I'd love to hear your story and get to know your homeschool. So a lot of folks, though, if I hear that they heard about it before, they thought about it, they knew somebody who homeschooling, and then they say, oh, I'd like to homeschool, but, right? So we kind of have these buts. I'd like to homeschool, but. So, what's your but? Tell me about your but. That's what we're talking about today. We're talking about those buts, those things that hold us back. So, I'm hearing a lot from families who said, and actually prior to COVID, I heard from a lot of families who would say, I've thought about homeschooling, but what is it? What is it? So I always ask, I'd like to know, what was the but? What was the thing that held you back before? Or if you've been homeschooling for a while, what was that last hurdle that you got over? What was that one last thing that you just had to get past to say, okay, I'm here and I'm going to do it, right? What was that but? Anybody? So share, definitely let me know you're here. Tell us what's going on and what was your but. So 7 times out of 10, I hear that I just didn't think I could do it. I just didn't think my kids would let me teach them. They wouldn't listen to me. Or the ever popular, I don't have the patience. I don't have the patience to homeschool. I didn't have the patience to homeschool. Sound familiar? And it ring true for you? So it was definitely true for me. I never, ever would have thought that, I could spend all day with my kids at least 5 days a week and be helping them with education alongside it. But, I've come to realize this is a myth about homeschooling. Homeschooling parents don't have any more patience or than the average parent. We don't, so let me just kind of bust that for you right here. It just kind of comes with the territory of parenting. So, the thing that I'm discovering is that people are diving into homeschooling despite their butts, right? They think, but I don't have the patience, but, I don't know, I can't teach calculus, but, I don't understand this Common Core math, this new thing, but they're doing it anyway. And that is so courageous and amazing. And you might not feel courageous and amazing, but believe me, you're parenting through a pandemic and you're still making hard choices that are best for your kids. And that is amazing. So let's celebrate that on this Monday morning. We're doing amazing things, whether you're helping your child through virtual school, whether you're a teacher having to figure out this new paradigm of education and how in the world you reach these students, who maybe don't have support at home. It's just, people are doing amazing things to get education to their kids right now. And that is just, one of the, I guess, silver linings, or maybe one of the bright spots in this pandemic and this COVID situation is, what everyone is doing for the kids, to kind of keep their lives normal, to keep them moving forward, to keep them growing. And I've just seen and heard some amazing stories from families and parents and from teachers and grandparents who are just so proud of their kids and their grandkids. Oh, it'll make me tear up. But, hearing the wonderful things that they are doing. So, thank you for stepping up. Thank you for looking for resources to make the better decision for your family, and, to keep them in the best situation possible. So, and I want to thank everybody for tuning in today. I don't know if, I can't really see comments. I'm trying to check my screen. So if you see my eyes darting all over the place, I'm trying to look for them to come up, but it seems like streaming might be more than my computer can handle. So it's not up refreshing the page. But anyway, thank you for tuning in and for listening. And if you're sharing, thank you for sharing. I can't wait to get to the comments and hear your stories and start a conversation there. So, these fears and doubts, these buts, right? We talked about our butts. My butt when I started homeschooling was, I wouldn't homeschool. We lived outside of Lancaster County in Pennsylvania. So homeschooling was what the Amish families did. That wasn't something that, normal kids growing up in society and learning socialization would do. So I never really saw myself doing it. And I had a wonderful educational experience. I loved school. I felt I was successful at school. And, I really never saw anything different for my kids until, we kind of felt it forced our hand. The school we were in just wasn't a good fit for our son. He missed the cutoff for kindergarten by a week. And it was just, he was mature enough, intelligent enough to kind of go on. And so that was kind of our but. So we're only going to do this. We're going to homeschool, but only for a year. We're going to homeschool, but only until we buy a new home and move to a different school district. 12 years later, here we are. So obviously it's worked out. And I think of all these parents right now diving in despite being able to resolve those buts. And that was me. I dove in kind of head first. And I I really didn't take the time to like figure it out or make a plan because it was only temporary. It was just going to be for a little while. And then when we finally decided that it was working for us and it would be longer term, that's when I hit this wall of, but what do I do now? How do I make this work? I really should have a plan. So, what's happening with families now is all those fears and doubts, these things that held us back right now, they're kind of just being pushed aside, buried deep, and you're diving in anyway. And that takes courage and determination, that goes with this leap of faith. And that's nothing short of awesome. So I don't want you to be sabotaged by those doubts coming back later, right? I want to empower you with the truths about homeschooling so that you can release those doubts and fears. And then I want you to have the tools to launch your homeschool with confidence, right? So some of those doubts, I don't have the patience, or I can't teach calculus. You don't have to. There's a lot of misunderstandings, a lot of myths about homeschooling that we need to work through. And it's okay to go ahead and dive in and feel like you don't know what you're doing. Like you're in over your head. It's somebody described it to me last week as like drinking from a fire hose. There's so much out there, and you just kind of have to filter out, the stuff that's not going to work for you and take what is. So I want you to be able to release those doubts, and I want you to have the tools to make homeschooling work for you, whether it is the next 3 months, the next 3 years, or the next 13 years. Homeschooling can work for your family if you decide that that's a good paradigm for your kids and for you. And you might find out, in these next couple of months, you enjoyed it. And if you're finding out you're not enjoying it, then let's make sure that, it's for legitimate reasons. It's not because you're getting frustrated by something that's not working for you that you can change. I always tell families there's always something else to try, right? And don't quit until you've tried everything, and there's always something else to try. So I just wanted to just give a big shout out to those families who say, but I would homeschool, and they still have those buts and those doubts and those fears, and they dove in anyway. And that is awesome. So let's get you equipped for this journey. So I wanted to tell you today about our Homeschool Launch Pad. The Homeschool Launch Pad is almost ready. So you can get on the waiting list at trianglehomeschoolresources.com/launchpad. Okay. But even better, today I have a workbook for you at trianglehomeschoolresources.com/packing list. So I talk about this launch into homeschool as kind of a journey. So if you are, boarding that rocket ship, without a map, without prep, without your time at space camp, then it's going to be really, really overwhelming. So I have some quick tips for you in the Homeschool Launch Pad packing list, I call it, because we're getting ready to go on this journey of the Homeschool Launch Pad, and I hope you'll be joining me for that. But go grab your workbook called The Checklist, and, let me know what other questions from that checklist that I can answer for you, and what kind of things, are holding you back from either diving into homeschooling in the first place or just kind of getting started. You want to do it, but, right? So you want to homeschool, but maybe you're overwhelmed with curriculum choices. Maybe it is, making sure that you're meeting standards, or that whole standardized testing thing is really intimidating. Let me know what those buts are in the comments. Tell me about your I'm ready to homeschool but, and then go grab your packing list and get ready to join us on the Homeschool Launch Pad. Hopefully early next week, it will be ready to go. The Launch Pad, by the way, is a self-paced online course to take you step by step through setting up your homeschool. And I'm really excited about that. I've done 2 rounds of the class over the summer and really enjoyed it and got really great feedback. Tweaked it and moved it and made it, self-paced and ready for you so that you can launch as quickly you are ready for, with all the support and all the answers that you need. So I hope you will join me for that. In the meantime, like I said, go grab your packing list, trianglehomeschoolresources.com/packing list. Or, if you say I don't need that, but I would like to hear more about this course, get on the waiting list, trianglehomeschoolresources.com/waiting list. No, sorry, /launchpad. Um, and that will get you on the waiting list, and you'll hear from me as soon as those doors are open and we're ready to load that launch into unknown territory. I want to make that territory familiar to you before you launch into it. So that's what I'm here for. This is what I love to do, and I love to help people go from overwhelmed to empowered and really feeling excited about their homeschool journey. So I hope you will join me. In the meantime, again, tell me about those buts. Tell me about those fears and doubts. Comment, and I would love to start a conversation and get back to you and help you kind of release those and get past those so that you can move on to make informed choices about, your children's education and your family's goals, and see what we can do. So join me back here on Thursday, and we'll talk some more tips and tricks. And I want to tell you more about, kind of my story. And I think it helps to hear from homeschoolers in the trenches, from people who've been where you are. And let me tell you, I was where you are. I never really saw myself doing this homeschooling thing, but I love it. I wouldn't trade it for the world. My kids now are a junior, a freshman, and a preschooler. So like I said, 12 years in, and we have a few years to go. We're just starting down at the other end. So I've got another 13 years ahead of me, and I can't wait. So I'm really looking forward to it. So thank you so much for joining me this morning, and I will see you again on Thursday at 10, and we'll talk some more about, how you kind of get past all of these stumbling blocks and maybe some of the things that I believed about homeschooling that turned out not to be true. All right. So thank you very much. Have a great week, everybody. I will see you soon.